Good day, kids. This is Teacher PJ, and today we are going to learn another lesson for our technology and livelihood education. Specifically, we are going to learn everything about recycling. So stay tuned. Basically, in this lesson, you are going to learn about the importance of recycling, the recycling process, and of course, recycling waste materials from one's own household. Now, what is recycling? Now, recycling is only one way of the 3 R's of waste management. You might already have learned about the 3 R's of waste management. Do you still remember them? Of course. The first one is reduce, the second R is reuse, and the third one is, you're right, it's recycling. Now the 3 R's of waste management aims to cut down the amount of waste materials that we throw away, thereby also cutting down the pollution that we give to our environment. So that is the aim, fundamental aim of our waste management. Now, reduce means lessening what we throw away as garbage. Reducing also means that you're using products in its minimum, thereby causing its production and consumption to be reduced also. Now, when we say reuse, it simply means use repeatedly. From our English language, re means again, then followed by a verb. Reuse means use again. Now, in recycling, it simply means making a new product from trash. Now, let's take an example. Now, in our slide here, we have trash here, and then it's being converted to cars. So you see, all of those cans of sardines, empty cans of sardines, suddenly become cars after recycling. How nice! Now let's see some examples of products that are made from recycled materials. Now let's see this one. This is a toy sculpture. It's made up of plastic. You see, can you recognize the plastic waste that are put together to form this plastic sculpture? Shoes! Who would dare to say that this pair of shoes was made from recycled plastics? Would you? Another example, we have the decorative fish. If you think that it's a real fish, it's not. It's made from metal, scrap metal. Alright, egg trays. I think you're familiar with this. The paper trays where eggs are arranged for sale were also made from recycled paper. Sometimes they are made of recycled plastic too. Alright, so we come now on the steps of recycling materials. This is the symbol of recycling. Recycling has 3 major steps. The first one is called collection and processing. The second one is manufacturing. And the third one is selling and buying. Now, in the collection and processing, there's also a little smaller activities that are involved. The first one is segregation. Of course, they are going to segregate the waste materials from the household. And as a student, you were taught about this segregation whenever you're in school, so that your waste, your garbage, your waste materials will be properly sorted. Now another, after they are sorted, collection comes next. Now it depends upon the kind of waste. For example, if the waste is recyclable, then those people who buy recyclable items are going to get it. Now those garbage or waste materials that cannot be recycled are going to be taken to the landfill where they're going to be dumped. Alright, next, in the collection, we have the MRF, or what is so-called Material Recovery Facilities. I think you're familiar with this. Now, our school has an MRF, and our barangays have also MRF. Our municipalities have also MRF. Now, what are these? These are Material Recovery Facility. Now, they are essentially recycling facilities wherein they are collecting the recyclable materials that are going to be sold later in the market, no? The market of recyclable materials. Mostly they are being sold in the junk shops.
In this community, this school are using this material recovery facility to collect the waste materials for segregation, to repair, to reuse, and to recycle.
Right now, there are also buyers of recyclable materials that are roaming around in our town, in our barangay. Usually they are in tricycles. They're going to collect these empty cans, empty bottles, and empty scrap metals, and then they're going to sell them.
Pag nga oras tayo amin, ubing, ada kami iti daytoy may nga lugar uno may nga pasat iti junk shop ket makatungtong tayo iti manager nga mismo no anya dagiti aramiden na kadagitoy nga basbasura. Eto nga introduce kanyayo iti nagwapo kinagagat nga uncle, the owner of this junk shop. Uncle, introduce yun ay.
Siya ti may nga taga Kalapugan, ag nagdakitoy Kalapugan ket siya ni Virgilio Tingli.
Uncle, anya aramiden nyo kadagiti basura.
Daytoy basura urnuson nga nasayat sa bali lata, sa bali puti. Tapno na pintas matlan ti panakabuyo na ket no bilang ilakon to ijajang shop ay ket amudan to no nya ti kasla na klase-klase iti tsura na lata, plastic, wino puti.
Kadagiti nga basura uncle ada kaditi kwarta tayo.
Ay adamat so nagdi may panggap ni lata, adamat ti presyo na sa bali ti presyo iti puti, samot iti bakal sa bali ti presyo.
Giyaman kami una uncle iti oras yung interview kada kami. Ket ubing nakita yo no nya ti importansya na dagiti basura. Dagiti basura mabalin nga pagkwartaan ken mabalin tayo matlaeng usaran.
Now the next step is called manufacturing. This is the longest process actually of steps in recycling. Now we can manufacture recycled items at our houses, at our schools, at work. If you are a worker, you can do it in our communities and also in industrial facilities. The last one, the industrial facilities of the large-scale recyclers of all time. The magazines, the old magazines are going to be recycled into paperboard, telephone directory, and they can also be recycled into a newspaper. How cool is that, yeah? Alright, next, newspapers are also recycled into telephone directories, egg cartons. We also have building insulation, construction paper, berry boxes, paper bond, kitty litter where your cat is going to litter, sheetrock, and paper plates, and countertop, and newspaper. New newspapers. Nice. Now another, we have paperboard. So these are the pasta and shoe boxes, etc. Unwanted mail boards. Now they are going to be recycled into paper backing on roofing shingles. They can also be recycled into paper towel rolls and new paperboard. See? So they're 100% recyclable. Okay, another 100% recyclable, we have the cardboard. Now the cardboard are these are used mostly in packaging. Now they're going to recycle it. It's 100% recyclable, so they can be recycled into paper bags, they can be recycled into new cardboards, paper boards, cardboard medium squiggy middle part. That's it, as you see in this slide. Okay, how about notebook paper? So you have old notebooks, I think, from your previous school years. You still have notebooks with you. Now, this notebook paper can be recycled into facial tissue. You know, the tissue that you use to wipe your face, toilet paper, new computer paper, the bond papers that we use, those are recycled papers. Then computer paper, paper towels, napkins, and new notebook paper. How cool is that? Now metal cans, like the empty cans of sardines, corned beef, and just like that, they can be recycled into virtually anything that uses metal. For example, we have the bicycle parts, the car parts, the steel beams, the rebar, the appliances. New cans, they can also be recycled to make a car, and the airplanes and everything automotive that moves. Okay, next we have the last one. We have that's metal, the aluminum cans. The aluminum cans can be recycled into new aluminum cans, and also products that make use of aluminum. Okay, next we have plastic number 1 beverage bottles. Alright, so these are the bottles that are used in a bottled water, you know. Okay, so these are going to be recycled, and after recycling, they are going to be made into carpets, backpacks, the polar fleece, the sleeping bag, and a ski jacket, insulation. So there are many more products that are made from these plastic beverage bottles. Now the harder plastics, just like the plastic milk and juice bottles, they are harder. Now they can be recycled into harder products also as well. So we have the plastic lumber, we have the decking, the dock, etc. We are familiar with it with the so-called monoblocks. Alright. Okay, they can also be recycled into playset. Of course, they can also be made into new bottles and new items. Now we also have the harder plastic. We have the plastic detergent pot. Now if they're going to be reprocessed in the plant, of course they are melted and turned into buckets or timba. They can also be turned into containers, and they can also be turned into frisbees and stadium seats. Okay, and they can also be turned into plastic drums. Okay, so now let's go to glass bottles and jars. Alright, so glass bottles are going to be recycled into new bottles, new jars, and also fiberglass. Alright, so just a quick note on this one. Not all glass are recyclable. They are actually sorted into color, and the reason behind is that there are glass in which the chemical composition was altered. That's why they have different colors. Now your mirror, for example, cannot be recycled because there are certain chemicals added in there that will not work with other glasses. Now let's go to selling and buying. Now this is the last step of the recycling process. Now after these materials are made in the manufacturing, the next step is to sell them so that prospective buyers are going to buy them. Alright, so they can sell them and they can be bought in online stores. They can also be bought in the traditional product shelves like that, where you can find them in the shopping centers, and you can also find them in other kinds of stores, just like the roaming ones, just like that. Alright, the products made from recycled materials that we have been discussing were products of industrial factories. So however, recycling can also be done in small scale, like in your home. Yes, you can take these recyclable materials and turn them into new products that you want.
Okay, children, are you ready? I am ready. Now, let's have fun today. And how are we going to make a charcoal paper like this? Here are the steps in making charcoal paper. First, prepare all the needed materials, such as, of course, the paper or scratch papers, basin, bucket of water. Then, let us fill up the basin with water. Second step, let us put the paper or soak the paper under the water. Okay, I'm going to present to you this soft paper, which are soft for a couple of hours. Now, if you observe, this is very soft or mushy. You just squeeze them and tear them into smaller sizes. After that, we're going to form a fist-sized ball. Okay, so after making these fist ball sizes, so let us going to put it here. Lastly, let us dry this for 2 to 3 days. This is now the finished product of how to make a charcoal paper, and it is now ready for burning and using for barbecue. Yummy!
Now that you have learned one way of recycling paper, let's talk about the importance of recycling. But wait, before we go there, let's check if you have learned something already. It's time for you to get your paper and your pen. Write the letter of the correct answer. Your answer will be checked immediately after each item. You have 10 seconds to write your own answer. Are you ready? Okay, so which of the following waste materials can be recycled? An empty Coca-Cola tin can, used baby diapers, banana peeling, and sewer water. What do you think? You have 10 seconds. Okay, so the answer is, what do you think? Empty Coca-Cola tin cans. Alright, so empty tin cans are examples of metal wastes. Those can be recycled. Alright, next. Mang Panor buys empty sardine cans. What step of recycling is he doing? A. Collection, B. Processing, C. Manufacturing, and D. Selling and buying. You have 10 seconds. Alright, so the correct answer is, what do you think? Is buying. Alright, so the correct answer is collection. Alright. Okay, so we have another question here. Benji just bought a roll of tissue for their toilet. What step of recycling is he at? A. Collection, B. Processing, C. Manufacturing, and D. Selling and buying. You have 10 seconds. Alright, time is up. What is the answer? The answer is selling and buying. Alright, there's our clue there. Alright, another question. Which of the following is an example of recycling? A. Making fake flowers from empty soda plastic bottles. B. With melting plastics to become a knife handle. And C. Making product packaging from old, what's that? Newspaper. And D. All of the above. You have 10 seconds. Time is up. If your answer is all of the above, then your answer is correct. Alright, so let us now talk about the importance of recycling. Why do we recycle? What can I do? What can I get from it? Alright, so here are the answers. Alright, the first one is that it reduces the landfill size. Landfills are land areas where our waste materials are dumped. If we do not recycle, our entire planet will become a huge landfill. The next importance of recycling is it conserves natural resources. What you are seeing on the video is an example of a mining activity. You see, for a product to be made, for example, metal products, the metal ores have to be mined from the ground. So in turn, they're going to destroy the trees, they're going to destroy the mountains, and the environmental resources will be depleted fast. It gives more employment opportunities. People who are involved in recycling really gets jobs. You can see it from the recyclable material buyers that roam in our barangay, to the junk shops and to recycling facilities. There's a saying in Filipino that we always hear. It says, "May pera sa basura." Do you believe in that? Next importance of recycling is we have the offers cash benefits. People that take aluminum cans or glass bottles to the recycling plant get cash benefits in return. In fact, many teenagers can pick up recycling as a way to make extra money on the side. It saves money. Importance of recycling. An unexpected place where the benefits of recycling can be seen in our economy. Of course, if the government, if recycling is done, the government, for example, would not spend more on, let's say, river dredging or cleanup drive on the dirty river covered with plastics. Alright, another importance of recycling, it reduces greenhouse gas emissions. Alright, so every factory is manufacturing something and then they require burning of something. That's why they create greenhouse gases like that as you see in the screen. When you recycle products, you tend to save energy, which results in less greenhouse gas emissions. It saves energy. You know, when you recycle aluminum cans, for example, you can save 95% of the energy required to produce those cans from raw materials. Okay, next importance of recycling is it encourages the use of green technologies. What are those green technologies? As you see on the screen, you have here the wind turbines, you also have the solar panels. Those are technologies that create electricity from the power of the sun and from the power of the wind. Now all of those are renewable sources of energy. Another importance of recycling is bringing different groups or communities together. At the end of the day, recycling is an act that can bring a community together. Whether it is by picking up trash from the roads or collecting waste materials to raise money for schools and colleges, many simple programs that make a community stronger can be built upon the many benefits of recycling. Another is that it prevents loss of biodiversity. The less raw material is needed when you engage yourself in recycling products. The beauty of recycling is that it will help you to conserve resources and prevent loss of biodiversity, ecosystems, and rainforests. Alright, so those are the importance of recycling. Now that you already have learned the benefits of recycling, why not try recycling on your own? Do the following activity. Watch it, then try to do it at home. You can ask from adults if you find difficulties. Alright, so let's do it. What are we going to do today? We are going to create a decorative flower. Alright, so let's dive into it. Congratulations, you just have created a plastic flower. You just have recycled plastic. Now you can share what you have learned to your family members or you can share it with your friends. Let us now come in summary of what we have learned today in this lesson. So remember, Recycling is the process of converting waste materials into new products. Not all waste materials are recyclable. We can recycle plastics, paper, glass bottles, and scrap metals only. Recycling involves many steps, but they are summarized into three main steps. The first one is the collection and processing, the second one is manufacturing, and the third one is selling and buying. Okay, recycling is very important because it reduces the size of landfills, it conserves natural resources, it provides more employment opportunities, it offers cash and benefits, it saves money, it reduces greenhouse gas emissions, it saves energy, brings different groups and communities together, and prevents loss of biodiversity. Okay, so those are the importance of recycling. Okay, we have now come to the part to test what you have learned about recycling. It's time for you to get your pen and your paper to answer each of the following test items. Now, test 1. Draw a check mark if the item is recyclable. If not, draw an X instead. Are you ready? Let's go! Alright, so we are done. Now let's check your answer. Are you ready? Okay. Magazines. Recyclable or not? Yeah, of course. Glass bottles. Of course it is. Steel can. Of course it is. Newspaper. Of course it is. And car batteries. Yes, they can be recycled. Plastic bottles. Yep. Ink cartridges. Yes. How about the sanitary napkins? No, we can recycle it. 9. Banana peelings. Do you recycle it? No. And used oil. Yes, it's recyclable. When you change the engine oil of your car or your motorcycle, you can take it to the recycling facility. The gasoline stations, they would gladly take it, and they will the ones to recycle it for you. Alright, so how many did you get? 8 to 10, excellent. 6 to 7, fair. 0 to 5, you have to repeat the lesson. Alright, congratulations, you have just reached the end of this lesson. I hope you have learned a lot. Remember, quality education is your fuel to a bright future. This is Teacher PT John. Till next time, happy learning.